Jacques Brix, our industry analyst.
We always laugh about
And
that.
Robbie, we are so excited to have you here. You are actually the first guest that we've had who has been part of a family winemaking operation. And we are going to start by having your absolutely fabulous Chardonnay.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'll go in front of
Yeah,
the
thank you for
camera
having
as
me. I'm
usual.
very excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Let me pour some of this. And we are enjoying the 2018 Alexander Valley Chardonnay.
Yep.
And does this say 56 barrels produced?
Yes, I believe so.
Wow. That's amazing.
So yeah.
So, well, cheers, and thank you for being
Cheers,
here.
yeah, thank you
And,
for having me again.
You know, Jacques and
Cheers.
I love
Yours.
Chardonnay,
Yeah.
so we are very
So
happy
we're
to have
looking
you
forward to
as a
you.
guest. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but I love your Chardonnay so much.
I know.
I am actually buying Robert Young Chardonnay this year. This is the first time
Grapes, you
I have
mean?
grapes.
Okay.
Yes, grapes. This is the first time I have ever ventured out of Russian River Valley for Chardonnay, but I am a huge
Oh, wow.
fan of your wines, and I'm extremely excited about it.
Wow,
And I
thank
am
you.
probably going to do a special bottling of Alexander Valley Chardonnay, but you do such a good job.
Thank
with
you.
it.
I appreciate that.
And so, Jacques,
So
I'm-
where is Alexander Valley compared to
So
in
it's
Northern
the
California? Yeah.
in Sonoma County. It's the northern end of Sonoma County. So it's like the hottest climate. We have the longest amount of, I guess, the longest growing day, most amount of sunlight. But really, that's where you're going to find these Chardonnays. But I see primarily Cabernet. So you
Primarily
need
Cabernet.
yeah, you know, a grape that'll withstand the heat out there.
Well, it's interesting. So the Youngs are known for obviously incredible wines, but the family history in Alexander Valley goes back to the 1850s. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
1858.
And back then, I think it was prunes and
Yeah, it started out as
wheat
prunes. Not a lot of people know Hillsburg was actually the prune town.
Was
It's called
it?
the Buckle, the Prune Belt of California.
that's why our baseball team is
Buckle
the
of
The
Prune
prune packers.
Packers.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah. So yeah, we had prunes, cattle. We're still running cattle farm today, so that's kind of tradition. Wheat, sheep back in the day.
Is the cattle
As well.
farm close to the winery?
It's so the cattle roam through our property, mostly our pasture land.
Oh, wow.
Keep the tinder down for any of the fires.
Hey,
Maintenance, yeah.
I think a lot of people are fascinated by the fact that it's generations of Robert Young, and I will tell you this is the first time that I have not come up with a title for the episode. Your fabulous general manager, Karen,
Yeah.
came up with 160 years. Can you explain the math on it, please? Is it 160 years?
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah, so we bought the property back in 1858, and so it's 162 now.
Wow,
But yeah, so very, very, very long time.
that's
Is
amazing.
that's probably one of the first one, right? That to have been
I think.
continuously like this and for 160 years.
Yeah, I believe so. We're one of the oldest
Yeah.
families here, I'd say.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah,
Well, and I think it's also
Um,
interesting that you're fifth generation.
yeah, I'm fifth. Yeah,
It's amazing.
And a generation is what, about 30 years? Right?
Yeah.
That'd be 150. That's close.
yep,
Yep.
basically, yeah.
So what was it like? When did you start enjoying wine? Were you young?
No, I'd say be honest, probably not till I was 21. I think that's when I really began to appreciate it. My childhood was more grown up working out in the field with my dad, or out in the
Wow.
vineyard with the guys working harvest or driving tractors. So I think back then it was just more kind of labor of love, the grapes, but not so much the appreciation for the wine till much later.
And you grew up in Healdsburg, obviously,
I-
in
no, I gr-
Alexander Valley?
Yeah, I grew up running around Hillsburg. I grew up out on the property, so I've been there
Did
ever
you go
since I was a
to
kid.
Alexander Valley School?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, my
Very
dad
nice.
and I actually had the same teacher, believe it or not.
You did?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And where is
Yeah.
that school? Is that the one on 128?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's still in operation. It's a great little school.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the only schools that's surrounded by vineyards on all four sides, which is really cool.
Very,
Very
very
pretty.
cool.
Yeah.
So you grew up obviously around a wine family. Did you know that you were going to stay in the family business?
Yeah, I did. So started working for a paycheck when I was like 13, 14, weekends or every summer, full time. And yeah, I really didn't want to go anywhere else. Once I was old enough to drink, my dad kind of encouraged me to get started in the tasting room, start pouring
Old
the
enough
wine.
to drink officially.
Officially.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
got it.
And yeah, and I just love the hospitality side so much, just because you get to talk to people, meet a lot of you know, just really cool people and hear their story and learn the reason why they found our winery and why they're members and what they love about our wine. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
And how are you? And you're in the tasting room. You're on a like full-time.
Yeah, full-time,
basis?
yeah.
People really like talking to family members. I mean, it makes a really, really big difference.
Yeah.
The experience is twice as enjoyable when you have somebody from the family there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, often I introduce myself as Robert, or everyone calls me Robbie, or Rob, whatever. But typically I'll host people and I'll be like, hey, I'm Robert, and they'll sit down, I start telling the story, and they're like, oh, you're really part of the family. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I'm Robert
And-
Young.
Oh, they
That's
don't
what
Yeah,
the
realize
I
label
think
they're actually
it's, for
part of
them
the
it's really
family.
cool to
Yes.
meet a family member at a winery, just because I don't think that happens too often.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, I was impressed just as a winemaker slash winery that I was with Jim in the vineyards. Or I mean, your family is ever present at that winery, and in the vineyards, the whole family is very hands-on.
So
Yes,
Jim,
we very much are. Yeah.
Jim is what? How's the family in there?
Yeah, so my grandfather, Robert, he had 4 kids. So my Aunt Joanne, she's the oldest, then Susan, my other aunt, and then my Uncle Jim, who runs the vineyard side, and then my dad, he's the winery founder, oversees the property, more the property management side. But all 4 of them live here on the property, all work there today as well, which is very cool, which
Wow.
is really rare.
It's very rare.
For all
Usually
4.
there are feuds and all kinds of stuff. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, and then a handful of us younger generations.
Well,
yeah.
when I first got the grapes and was talking about the grapes. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Yeah, so you can see here some photos. This was, if I'm not mistaken, this was I think, an old vineyard back in Alexander Valley. You can see the hose they're using are actually horseshoes at the bottom of it, which is pretty cool. That's my grandfather, Robert Young.
That was the original.
The Robert, yeah,
Got
it
it.
was named after. Yeah, he was born in 1919, passed away in 09 at 90 years old.
Wow, excellent.
And then we took that picture.
Is that
That's,
you?
yeah, that's me. Yeah,
That is so great.
When I was,
I love
cool.
that.
probably five or 6.
All right.
Yeah, that's the only picture I have with him, which is cool.
So that's the.
And then yeah, that's my dad on the left, then my Uncle Jim,
Yeah.
my Aunt Joanne on the right, and then Susan on the left. And then my cousin Rachel on the right.
Center,
She's
on the
our assistant cellar master in the winery. So she's kind of apprenticing to be the winemaker
Oh,
someday.
is that Rachel?
Yeah, Rachel, yeah.
I love
So
that.
she's 6th generation. I'm 5th. We're both same age, but just a generation apart.
Huh.
Well, and that's nice
Yeah.
that you have both marketing and production covered
Yes.
within your generation.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
There was something really lovely on your website that basically said, you know, come see us because we want you to experience the wine industry or the lifestyle of being in the wine industry through us, and you really do bring that experience to the tasting room.
Thank you.
It's very, very
Thank
nice
you, yeah.
there.
I think that's what we've been known for the longest time is our hospitality, and obviously our wine quality. And now, which we might get to, the new taste room that we opened back 2 years ago, which overlooks the property. But now we have a place to showcase the wines, provide them with excellent hospitality is what we strive for. Just give them a good time.
We'll see that later on.
Yeah.
Right? We have some
Yeah,
some video of that.
So I actually did a tasting for the first time at your new tasting room
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, and or it was before harvest. It was more than that, but you know, I honestly sat down. I'm sure you've experienced a shot. I sat down in that tasting room. I was with my friends. We were drinking some wine. Oh, there we go. And I actually thought, what a fabulous lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, it's just amazing.
Yeah, so that used
Yeah,
to
they're
be
the views.
Wow.
really our favorite family overlook for the longest time, and we've been telling our members and friends that someday we're going to put a tasting room up there because it just has the prettiest view. Every wine we make, we can actually point to the vineyard of that where that wine comes from, which is I think a handful of places in the world that offers that. But yeah, it's
Wow.
very peaceful and intimate experience for
Oh,
sure.
it's lovely up there.
Yeah.
Plus, it's open air. It's good for what's happening right now in terms of social distancing.
Absolutely,
It's just
yeah.
the perfect environment.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have
So
that
are you,
much
are you
outdoor seating,
open
so-
right now? at the
Yeah, we
tasting
are
room?
every day but Tuesday, 11 to 5 by appointment
By
currently.
appointment, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and you also have you can sort of have a food experience as well.
We
You
do.
get charcuterie
okay.
and
Yeah. Yeah, we do a meat and cheese pairing actually with Journeyman. So Pete Scacio's meats and some local cheeses.
I keep forgetting to
So-
get the cheese board
Yeah.
or the charcuterie board. I'm so sorry, Robbie. I meant to do it this week.
'Cause
Okay, no
he
worries.
was,
Next week.
He was Susie's guest.
Yes.
weeks ago.
I know we all
Yeah.
Pete Segacio.
we all love Journeyman.
And he brought
Yeah.
a lot of beautiful stuff.
Well, it's fun when you can provide local things to tourists, and
Yeah, I
you
think,
know we
yeah.
all stick together, of course. in this
Yeah, we like to
industry.
support one another, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And so, how long have you been in the tasting room now?
Tasting room since I was 21. I recently graduated from Sonoma State University and got a BA in wine business. So
Oh, you
after
did?
after that I've been full time. Before I was working 3-4 days a week.
That is a great program.
Yes.
Ray
yeah, it was
Johnson,
really good.
you know Ray Johnson,
I
right?
know him.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
I didn't actually have a class with him.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Yeah,
he's
but yeah, I'm
a-
familiar.
I love that program. Almost every single one of my tasting room employees went to Sonoma State,
Really?
and they also have a master's program in
Yes,
They
wine.
do.
Now they do, yeah.
Yeah.
There can't be very many wine programs. I'm sure Davis may have a business of wine type program, but isn't Sonoma State one of the only ones?
Yeah, I think it's the leading. I think
Yeah,
from what I understand, it's the only one in
Yeah, there are other
California.
states that have some of those also, but yeah, you can go and I used to write little articles for our magazine about tasting rooms experience, and after a while I could tell, you went to Sonoma State, didn't you? Yes, they had a different attitude, which was positive.
I
and,
know.
well, it was really a superb education, no question about it.
Yeah, you really can. And just people out there whose kids are interested in wine, it's a really good program.
Yeah.
And I know some parents who wanted their kids to go to the Sonoma State program because they wanted to be able to visit
I've-
wine country. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing how often that'll happen.
Yeah,
Whatever it takes.
I've talked to a lot of folks like that
I
as
know.
well. Yeah.
Like, gosh, I really wish they would choose Sonoma State
Right. Yeah.
so I can come to wine country.
Definitely.
I know. That's funny. So when I was in the vineyards with Jim,
Yeah.
it was really very impressive with how organized they were and how everything is laid out. Everything is completely pristine. I mean, it's meticulous farming. I mean, very much so. And even to the point, Jacques, where I went out there and they wanted me to choose the exact section.
Here
I
it
would
is.
get my,
Oh, so you get a special block that you could get?
I get my own rows.
Wow.
They said it's going to come from these
Wow.
rows.
Wow, look at that. How many acres
Yeah.
is that?
We have 448
Whoa.
in total, 317 planted in vine.
Wow.
Primarily Chardonnay, 150 acres of Chard, which is there on the valley floor. 75 acres of Cab on the hillside, 50 acres of Merlot, hillside as well.
Are those your
And-
horses?
Yeah, so we do have horses. My dad, that's kind of his hobby. He's into riding horses, competing. Also moves the cattle around. So
Oh,
very
Actually competing
traditional.
also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
alright.
competing as well. Yeah,
This cat.
and I believe that's him walking in,
So
yeah,
are
in the
you
vineyard.
organic, sustainable? I mean, that's
We're all
probably-
certified sustainable.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah.
wow, that's really,
I mean,
Pretty.
isn't that gorgeous? I mean,
yes,
that's,
very
it's
pretty, yeah.
gorgeous.
wow, these are huge finds too. Huh?
You know, I have a question
Mm.
that I didn't want to bother Jim too much when I was out in the vineyards with him because I know he's really busy. But how did the Robert Young clone get developed? Like, what is the origin of that clone? And that's what we're having right now, correct?
Yeah. So it's derived from the Wente clone. And from my understanding, my Uncle Jim, alongside my grandfather, I just figured out one of the vines was outperforming the rest. And they took some of the budwood to Davis, ran some tests on it, and it ended up being virus-free and rot-resistant.
Wow.
So it had different genetic makeup, essentially, and named it the Robert Young clone, of course, and patented that, sold it to the nursery, so now that every vine sold, the vineyard gets a royalty from,
Wow.
which is
So,
very-
and it, actually the official name is Clone 17.
Clone 17,
But it
yeah.
is
Or the Robert Young clone, yeah.
Robert
Either
Young
or.
clone. Well, at the winery, I just brought it in last week. It's the code is Robert Young. I will not call it 17. It's too beautiful of a
Yeah,
clone
so,
to
yeah.
be called 17.
I like that, yeah.
I know.
So the Wente clone, I know it was because it's a warm climate.
Yes, yeah.
Right? 'Cause I remember that it was exported a lot to Oregon, and the Chardonnay did not taste as well. We're talking about 20, 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And then found out that, oh, it's the Wente clone. I mean, it needs like 10 degrees Fahrenheit, higher average temperature. 10 degrees, I don't know for sure. So now that in Oregon, most of the Chardonnays are not on the Wente clone, and because it was too hot. Of course, 20 years from now, who knows, right? It might be back again.
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah, that's great. So UC Davis has to get involved. Yeah, they have to get their patent and get their 15 cents.
Well, I mean, there's so few people who've developed their own clones. That's highly
yeah, it's
unusual.
very
But that makes
rare.
sense. It was probably made for obviously a warmer climate.
Yeah, I think generally that's where you're going to find it. I think, I believe it's the second most widely planted clone of Chardonnay in the U.S. today, right behind the Wente, which is
Wow.
very cool.
That is very cool.
It's what I've heard.
No, that is very cool.
but yeah,
so
for him
so
to-
who does the propagation? Is that the
Our-
vineyards? That
Yeah,
does
so my
that?
Uncle Jim.
Your Uncle
Yeah,
Jim
so
does
he's
that?
the viticulturist, the vineyard manager.
So you actually sell the.
Yeah, so we
vines?
or not the vines, but the grapes, our grapes.
Oh, you sell the grape.
But as far as the
how
vines,
Oh.
it's the nursery. Sorry.
He
Yeah.
said that
Yeah.
they get a royalty.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
the
but- yeah,
nursery,
yeah, they gotta
you
get
can
some.
go
So you
to,
can actually sell
I
them
guess,
directly?
any one of those and put an
Okay.
order in. So.
Oh.
Is that a specific nursery that does that?
Yeah, I'm not sure which one, but I think there's a handful.
may be,
Sonoma,
I'm
Napa.
Oh, there might be
That's it.
several. Yeah,
I think so.
Makes
Well,
sense.
so I would
Yeah.
describe your Chardonnay as it's a very rich style Chardonnay.
Yes.
This is for people who love classic Chardonnay styles.
That is a big shard.
Yes.
It is.
You,
It's
you know, you
big.
drink it, you know it is, and it lingers on a long time, and just get all these beautiful, again, pineapples, all this stuff. That's wow. You just want, one bottle is usually not enough,
Yeah, definitely.
and certainly for
for us.
Yeah.
What is your favorite pairing with this Chardonnay?
Ooh, I love cheeses, so
Yeah.
I definitely Brie.
Oh yes.
I'd say I love Brie, especially the Chardonnay.
This used to be by the glass at Willie's. It probably still
Yes.
is. I think it's always by the glass at
yeah,
Willie's.
we've been in there for. I mean, seafood. I go into Willie's.
Well,
I'd say weekly.
my sister and I would get this, and I think they had, either the lobster roll or we'd get
Oh,
the
yes,
any of the
yes.
crab dishes. But yeah, Betsy and I
That's-
Betsy and I have
Oh.
enjoyed a lot of Robert Young at Willie's and have paired it with
Yeah, seafood is I'd
everything.
say excellent with that for sure.
yeah, seafood tower, a little bit of Robert Young, absolutely
Definitely.
delicious. Okay, as much as we have to, Jacques, it's time to move on to reds.
okay. Oh, that's
He wants
it.
some
Okay.
more.
We know what these reds are, so everybody is welcoming that too. No problem.
Now, what red varietals do you have planted?
Red, so primarily Cabernet, Merlot, Cab Franc, Petit Verdot, Malbec, and we actually make all those at the winery in 100% form,
So that,
which is quite
okay,
unusual. So all the Bordeaux, the
all
whole
the
family.
Bordeaux, yeah. got it.
So I think that's pretty unusual to get one or two of those, and we do them all in-house, which is great. And
So-
that's
and
about
so what-
primarily it as far
and-
as what we make.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, no.
And what Robbie's saying is that you're one of the only wineries that does all 5 of the Bordeaux varietals,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
And so those are the 5 varietals of Bordeaux. in case you don't know.
And they always estate grown.
All estate grown.
So you have 100% control, so that's rare.
Yeah, so we can really pick the best of the best, which helps with the wine quality.
Well, an
doubt.
estate means, when you see estate on a label, it does mean that it is actually grown by the winery. And it's in Sonoma County. I would venture to guess that only about 20% of all wineries even have an estate situation, if even that high. So
Yeah,
the more common scenario in Sonoma County is that people buy their fruit, like me, for instance. And so to
Yeah.
have your own estate, that's more typical in Napa.
Yeah, and
For
I think
sure.
the legal definition of estate means that or it's on the winery grounds, so they own the land, or it's 100% managed by the winery. So even if it's somewhere else, not
Correct.
around, but it has to be 100% controlled by the winery to call it estate.
And you can't put estate either, isn't it 95%? It has to be 95% estate in order to even have estate
Yeah,
put on
there's,
your
I
label.
think
so.
that's the number, yeah, 95%.
Well, it's an unusual thing to see.
Yeah, I've heard that it had to be, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but it had to be grown there.
No, it's
I think
true.
age there,
Yeah, they might, yeah. it
and
might be-
bottled
that's
on
right.
site. If I'm
Yes.
not mistaken, I think the whole process, start
Yeah.
to finish, from harvest to
Yeah,
I think it is true for it to be estate.
maybe, yeah.
that's interesting. It's just a little
Yeah, so
loophole
everything's
for
a
people that have
estate, yeah.
a property somewhere else, so that
Oh.
needed grapes for that year.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
There's always a little
There's-
something.
That's true.
Right, I mean,
Sure.
thank goodness.
Yeah.
You know, that's sort of a cool thing about the wine industry. I don't think people realize that we have pretty strict rules for labeling, which means you know what you're going to get. So you don't, if somebody says estate, it's the real deal.
Yes.
Because it's very highly regulated from a marketing perspective.
Yeah,
And when you say, you have like Cabernet, right, it's 75%, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Minimum 75%. Then you put all the other blends. in
Yep.
there, okay?
I'm drinking, excuse me, all of my Chardonnay.
Can I pour the
you
cab
did?
for y'all?
Please.
Awesome.
Oh, I'll take some, yeah.
All right.
Beautiful, expensive bottle too. I see, very heavy, right?
Yes.
That is a gorgeous label. Thank you.
It is a pretty label. How many different versions of this label have you had? Probably not that many.
Just two. So we have the white one with the Chardonnay here,
Uh-huh.
and then these red one, or sorry, brown one here.
Wow, that is a heavy bottle.
They're like five. I think about 5 pounds. They're pretty
Well, it tastes better when it's heavier.
significant. Just feels like it tastes good, right?
It does. It really does.
Wow, what a nose though. Ooh.
Yeah. So this is our 2016 Thomas Meek Cab. This is our only native ferment cab, or wild yeast,
Okay.
whereas everything else is winemaker adds additional native yeast to the winemaking. I'd say most wines are like that. However, this is a blend of all three of our single vineyards that we make wines from. 100% cab, 24 months French oak, like 50% new French oak.
Wow, that's
It
a
is
lot.
delicious.
But it's more red fruit driven, but just very elegant and smooth.
Now, when you say red fruit driven, just because people
Yes,
like
yeah.
those terms because they want to understand more about wine tasting. So you're saying it's more of the like cherry, berry.
Yeah,
fruit.
like cherry definitely. I
I've-
get a lot of cherry, cranberries,
I love this.
raspberry.
Cranberries,
It's
okay.
it's on the bag. It says a tribute to Uncle Thomas.
Yeah, and I'd like to elaborate
Oh my
on
gosh,
that.
you guaranteed. Okay, and
Yeah.
this is a great back label. Please tell
Yeah,
us.
great story behind this wine as well. So we'd like to have all of our wines have something that ties back into the family. But my grandfather, Robert, so he was born in 1919 on the ranch farming the prunes alongside his father, Silas. His father, Silas, passes away when he was 16 years old. And this was 1935, height of the Depression, leaves him with the property, 200 acres at the time. Bank forecloses on the property. Called in the note, it was $70,000. So
Lot of
back
money.
back then it was
Lot of
probably
money.
probably a couple million.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And my grandfather had his only really close relative at the time. It was his great uncle Thomas Meek. Thomas Meek was very well off, lived in San Francisco, owned a handful of hotels. He's actually one of the founders of Soda Rock Winery, which is not too far from us. And my grandfather explained to Thomas Meek what had happened. Thomas Meek said, you can either give up the family ranch, come live and work for me in the city, or I'll guarantee the note for you and you can stay here and be a farmer. And of course, that's what happened. Otherwise,
Giving me chills. That's
yeah,
it.
no, it
yeah,
gives me
that
chills
is
every time I talk about it. Because
wow.
otherwise,
That is so
I
if he had
love
made
that.
that the other decision, I'd say the easy decision, we wouldn't be here today. So
Wow,
yeah, it's really cool.
that's a really
Yeah.
cool story, and I love the tribute as well.
Yeah, so this is our first vintage of this one. We also make a wine called Silas as well, which is our higher price point. It's $145 a bottle, and it comes from the crown of our Bob's Burn Piled wine, which we'll enjoy later on.
How would you? It's got a richness, but it also has some spiciness to it. I would say. What do you think, Jacques?
Yeah, and
Well,
it's easy once you know where it comes from. So you say, "Oh yeah, I recognize Alexander Valley fruit." Yeah, good luck. But you know, it reminds me of some of the high-end, like Silver Oak from Alexander Valley, compared to a Silver Oak Napa. And
Sure.
See, it reminds me. Even though Silver Oak uses American oak and different things, but the
Yeah.
fruit itself is wow. That's very different from Napa. It's not as heavy. I think it's lighter. It's got more vibrant.
It's more approachable, but it still has a lot of structure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
it's more approachable early on,
But it's
for
also
sure. Still age 20 years.
your wines. I think your wines very much so, based on my tasting at your beautiful tasting room. They have what I would describe as varietal integrity. I mean, you can tell. I mean,
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
it's Cab. This is Chardonnay. This is, I mean, but it's still elegant at the same time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very nice. And how many cases of this do you make?
This we did 4 barrels. So
Oh, wow.
this is
so that's 100
So,
cases.
I feel
Yeah, so
I feel honored that you
what is that?
brought it.
Yeah,
12
cases.
1,200 bottles. Not 300 bottles a barrel.
Yeah, you got it.
So yeah, we
Yeah.
this is one we don't make much of. So it goes pretty quick.
So you have a wine club also. So tasting room and a wine club.
Tasting room and wine club. Yeah,
Okay, so-
membership. Yeah.
And I mean, you don't make a lot of wine, so you must run out of it pretty quickly.
We do definitely.
Do you sell out between vintages of your smaller production wines?
Yeah. So
Okay.
we're definitely known for our cabs and our Chardonnays, of course. We have a very loyal fan base for Chardonnays. We make 2 additional Chardonnays. One's called Clone 17, a little bit lighter, more elegant, and then one called Barrel Select, like full bore oak, which maybe would be your palate. Those we release there for about 2 months and it's gone. It flies.
Wow, that's fast. I think we have a question.
Yeah, we have a question from Trish Ogorek, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry if I don't pronounce it properly, but she's asking, what is Robbie's go-to wine that he enjoys drinking on a regular basis?
Cabernet. No question.
Here's the answer.
Yeah, I'm a big cab guy. I enjoy food, so I think Cabernet, for me at least, is the best.
Are
option.
you a steak eater and a meat eater?
Yeah, a lot of filet or New York or
Well,
tri-tip.
it's just that I want a steak right now.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely steak. Yeah, I love my Chardonnay though, I'll say. And I think for my age, loving Chardonnay, I'd say most people wouldn't suspect that, but a Cabernet, and I love Chard.
Yeah, and that was my next question,
That's
because
so
we're
true of your
really
age
getting
group.
involved in the millennials, and you're right in there in the millennials.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do they drink? You think Chardonnay?
Well, when I think of millennial, I think rosé.
Okay.
I will say that.
Okay.
I think that's kind of the trend right now.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know. I think my age group wants something that's I don't know, more balanced, not like super big and bold and tannic, just somewhere elegant and smooth, and something that's probably ready to drink now, rather than laying down for a long, long time. And I think our wines are like that. They're approachable now. You can drink them right now, open up. You don't got to wait. But however, if you would prefer to do that,
Yeah,
they will
you
stand
can
the
tell
test
they
of
have
time.
longevity in there
Yeah.
also. If you
What
want
is the oldest vintage of Robert Young that you've tasted?
Wow, probably a 2004, I want to say. Yeah, anything
Well,
for
he's
us
young,
beyond.
you know.
Yeah, I'm young. I haven't had any of the.
2004. God,
any
I
of
was
the old,
already
I've had
70
some
years
old.
old.
I've had some old wines from other wineries that used our fruit,
Oh, so
like
you,
Chateau Saint Jean. We
Oh,
used to sell
yes.
them all of our
Yeah,
grapes.
what happened with Chateau Saint Jean? Because that's just something.
well,
It's a great story there.
well, in
Yeah.
Chateau Saint Jean, you put Chateau Saint Jean's
With the
Chardonnay on the map, didn't you?
yeah, and they put our vineyard on the map as
So,
well.
So it's a match made in heaven there.
Yeah, so that was the
Yeah.
first
And when
vineyard.
was that? That's 1975 or
73,
something? 73?
I believe. Yeah, so it was the first
Wow.
vineyard designated wine
That's when I came to the
in
America.
the U.S.
Maybe that's why I came
Yeah.
here.
So we have people still to this day that come in, and they're like, "I've had your wine somewhere else," and it was really through Chateau Saint Jean.
That's such a big deal.
But I've had some very old ones of those, like some Magnums that were in the 90s, which were actually a couple years ago really good.
No,
So
they had a.
That was back when Dick Arrowwood was the winemaker.
Yeah.
yeah, he was
Right?
actually our consulting winemaker for the first couple years at
Dick
the
Arrowwood
winery. Yeah,
was? One of the greatest winemakers of all time,
yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
And were some of your grapes in the 5 cépages, which got a 100 rated? And
I do not
just
know.
say yes.
Absolutely.
Say yes.
Look at
Oh,
the
no,
camera.
you know
No,
what?
I'm just
I
kidding.
guarantee you they were.
There
I
might have
guarantee
been
you.
some.
Yeah,
I
and that was all the.
guarantee you.
Yeah, because it was all the Bordeaux blend. 5 cépages, 5 varietals.
Because it was Sonoma County.
It was Sonoma County, yeah. So
Obviously.
probably, yeah, some of your.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And 100, I mean, on number one wine spectator in whatever the year was.
Yeah, it was a big
Oh,
deal.
yeah, big deal.
Well,
Cool.
that's when, and
Thank you.
really between the well, Chateau Saint Jean. I'm a big fan, but it's really cool that you're part of the history of what really developed the Sonoma County wine industry,
Thank you.
because that's huge.
Yeah.
So
I'm
what's
lucky.
next for you? What's,
Well,
Yeah. What is
well,
what?
26 what you ask.
what's next for
Right.
us?
Oh, for us, well, we
I'm
know
joking.
we're going to pop the second one, but
Yeah.
recap.
So I'd say our new tasting room we just opened, November 18. So I've been a part of getting that up and going. So that's something that I've been committed to the family to get that, to help get it going and kind of get where we want to be. For us, we want to be one of, I'd say, probably the top 5, if not the most well-known tasting room in Sonoma County. I think that's our
Well,
goal.
you're certainly
So that's
heading
what
in
we're
that direction if you're not already
we're
there.
striving for. Be honest, in the future, I'll go work outside of the family business, which all of us family members are encouraged to do if they want to have a senior role. So my goal is to run the winery someday. Rachel, my second cousin, she's 6th generation. Her goal is to be the winemaker. So as a family member, our family encourages us to go work outside the business and kind of prove ourselves. So that's probably my next step sometime down the line.
You know,
Who knows
that's-
when that will be, though.
That's interesting because remember, Jacques, John Boletto was on the show, and his children were getting involved with the winery, and his daughter was, both of his daughters were going to Boston. His daughter's going to school, and it was the same type of thing where he's encouraging her to explore things and then come back
And then
to run
come
the
back, yeah,
family
with it.
business.
Yeah.
And so the
Yeah.
concept is that you gain more knowledge and you
Yeah, become more well-rounded.
well,
And then,
maybe even have a different type of appreciation for what's going on
Oh,
at
yeah.
the winery.
and I think if I stay there, I'm just going to be in this bubble and won't really get outside of that and learn.
Not a
any
bad
new-
bubble to be in.
Yeah.
No,
but
I
still.
mean, it's honestly when I decide to do that or have the opportunity to, it's going to be it'll be tough, and I'm sure I'll work really hard so I can get back and work for the family. But
I may have a position at Selby.
okay,
Wouldn't I be lucky?
yeah, but I think
You have
for
to go outside the industry, correct?
yeah, my dad has taught me, like, from growing up on a young age working on the farm, nothing is given. You have to work for it. So same with,
Nice, yeah.
I think with the name, sometimes people say you'll be like, oh, you're going to be running the winery someday, and it does not like that. You got to work for it.
I have a question that from Lori. She's asking to visit your winery. Do you need to make an appointment?
Yes, we recommend it. Yeah,
Or you're
Definitely.
recommending?
we're appointment only. With October, that's our busiest time of the year. We've honestly been very busy. So just to guarantee we can give you an experience, we'd love to do that. If not, we do have an area where you can enjoy a bottle or a glass, so that's an option as well.
Where you can
but-
just buy a bottle or a glass of wine.
Yeah, so that's an option as well.
And-
yeah,
and-
but
Can you bring a picnic or not, or do you serve food, or how
we
does
have a
it work?
pairing that offers food.
Okay.
Picnic, usually for members, we allow that. It's kind of membership perk. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's the
Yeah.
way it should be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people actually that don't allow picnic because of the laws of
Yeah, with
food and-
COVID things
right,
kind of
and-
change things.
yes.
Typically, we will do that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but
Excellent.
This is so delicious.
yeah, this
and,
is
and as
amazing.
it's getting less tannic. You know, we have a cafe audience.
Talk about it because
I know.
the audience can't smell or taste it. Sorry about that.
I know.
You can come out to the tasting room and taste it, though. So
But that's it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Go to the website,
Yeah.
which is robertyoung.com.
yeah, ryew.com, Robert Young Estate Winery, but Robert Young Winery and Google were
Yeah,
the first
exactly.
ones
that
up.
comes
So.
up. Okay.
I
Wonderful.
have to tell you, you have one of the prettiest websites.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's really pretty,
The
yeah.
grounds are so gorgeous. So how many? I mean, you must have different houses since a lot of the family live
Yeah,
there,
that's a
right?
great question. So, as I mentioned, my grandfather's 4 kids. They all live, work there. They all have homes. 2 of my cousins have homes on the property as well. They're raising their families, which is great. And then there's a handful of employees live on the property
live
as well
also,
that
okay.
need to be there for the vineyard
Excellent.
full time. So,
Wow. Well, you got
Yeah.
enough land to do that, so that's good.
yeah. I don't live there now. I hope to have the opportunity to live there someday again in the future.
So the house that, you know, and I'm just saying this because it's everybody sees it. The house
definitely, yeah.
one passes on the way to the tasting room. Is that the original
Yeah,
family
so that
house?
was originally my great-great-grandparents. They built the original home back in 1885. The way it looks now, my grandfather remodeled it in 1980, and that's where my grandfather and my uncles and aunts, my dad, grew up in. And now my aunt, the oldest of the 4 kids, and my grandfather she lives in the house with her husband. Yeah.
It's a pretty home.
Yeah.
It's like stepping back in time, just driving by it.
Yeah.
Gorgeous Victorian, right? And it's
Yeah.
Big white.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I haven't been to your new tasting room, so what I remember is
we-
the old one, which was not far from that house, right?
Yeah,
It's right around
yeah, it's
corner.
just right up on the hill.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, all right.
Yeah, you can look down right at it. So,
Beautiful.
I'll take you there someday, Jacques.
yeah, you got to come out.
Maybe next
I'd
week.
love to host you. So.
God, you just twisted my arm.
next week.
Okay, how about tomorrow at 10 o'clock? No, just kidding. Anyway, so yeah, let's do the other cab then. Or you've already started without me? No, you haven't.
No, we
Okay.
haven't started
Well,
without
you know,
Jacques.
I'm just
Absolutely
an alien.
not.
You know?
It's
Thanks.
funny.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, the color of these wines, they're just
Now
so dark purple, the way beautiful cab should be.
While you're pouring this, Robbie, I have a question. What is happening in your tasting room right now with Merlot sales?
Our Merlot it's killing it. It's doing very
I
well.
love Merlot.
Yeah, no, our Merlot. I mean,
I
people
love
come.
your Merlot.
People come for our Merlot. Honestly, it's. I'll say it's not that sideways like wimpy, flat. It's very big. I mean, not very, but quite big and bold. It's very elegant and smooth. I call it a cab lover's Merlot.
Oh,
It's kind of that style, but it's
Good, yeah,
great.
Good name.
so it has tannins and
Yeah, it has tannin. Yeah, it's good.
Which Merlot has, right? It's just, the sideways really kind of brainwashed some people without really knowing what they were doing.
well, no,
Right?
Merlot's making a comeback.
Definitely.
It really is. Prior to my distribution slowed down substantially only because I was mostly in restaurants nationally, but my Merlot is my most popular national
Really?
wine.
great
But I
wines.
love Merlot and I loved your Merlot, and I was just curious about whether it was well received.
Oh yeah, very well. Yeah.
So what? Tell us about
Yeah,
this
so
wine.
I'd love to talk about this. So this is our Bob's Burn Pile. Great name to it, right? And this is named after my grandfather, Robert, or Bob. Everyone referred to him as Bob. But he always had this burn pile. And what a burn pile is, if you don't know, farmers have those to burn their brush, They're limbs from the trees, stuff from the garden. We burned a bunch of the prune trees when they ripped them out, vines when they needed to be replanted. And his burn pile was at the far end of our property. And over the course of the years, all that ash infiltrated the soil, ended up changing the composition of it, and planted his cab in that spot. So we named the vineyard Bob's Burn Pile. And anybody that really knows my grandfather, he was known for being a pyro. He
loved his burn
used
pile.
to, yeah, when I was younger, he would light up all the brush on the side of the road or in the creek, and you could do that back then. It was a little more acceptable.
Today, not a good thing, but then.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore. But yeah, I ended up naming this wine Bob's Burn Pile.
funny.
So this is 26 months in French oak, all brand new French oak,
100% French.
100% French oak,
Wow.
new.
So this is an expensive
100%
wine.
cab.
Your cost
is
of
an
goods on this
expensive
is high. It's an expensive bottle
Yeah,
of wine.
and we
Yeah,
do
You know what oak you use? I mean, what
Oh.
brand
Barrels?
barrels? Yeah.
mostly Sigoun Moreau.
Sagamo, yeah.
Some other ones, but I say that's probably the main one.
So
One.
about $1,300 a barrel.
Yeah, we only
On a
do
good day.
11 barrels of it, so not a whole lot. In this wine right now, so it's a $95 retail, and that's what you pay if you're a member or non-member throughout the year. If you are a member, you get to take advantage of a discount one time a year, and that's at the beginning of the year in January. So 3 or more bottles, 20% off, so it's 76 rather than 95, and then we release
That
it.
is first
in
class.
October,
Well,
yeah.
both
This
of them are
is
first class.
absolutely delicious.
Yeah, we sell out 90% in advance right now.
$95 is a really reasonable price for this.
Unfortunately, it is now. Yes.
No, it is.
Well, I know that. It's unfortunately for
Yeah.
if you have to pay
For consumers.
Yeah, I mean, if you go over to the other side of the hill, it's in Napa.
Oh yeah, it's the average.
I'd say for the quality, it's
Yeah, absolutely.
$300-400. We just got 98 points on this
You did?
from the Press Democrat wine competition.
Yes.
So
And
good.
then-
But it's
Yeah.
it's phenomenal.
Did you get a best of class on this?
I'm not too sure about
I'm
that.
just wondering if you're up
I don't
for
think so.
sweepstakes. Oh, it's Press Democrat, not Harvest Fair. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah, yes.
it.
So-
But
Wow,
for
that's a
Harvest
big
Fair, you
deal.
got. I haven't
That's a
haven't
big
read
deal.
the.
yeah, we didn't. I don't
finals.
think competed
Well,
in that.
Robert
but-
Young is you're a huge award-winning winery.
Yeah, the
This
top.
is so good. I mean, truly.
Yeah,
It's a
this it's
cab
drinking
lover's
nice
cab.
now. And you can lay it down for a very, 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 very long time if you want to. So it's great.
And,
Yeah.
What are the other Cabernets you have besides these two?
So we do one called Silas, which comes from the crown of our Bob's Burn
Yes, you
Pile
said
block. We
that.
have 4 barrels. Our Scion, that's our flagship wine. That's a Bordeaux style blend. That's 70, and then our entry level cab is 55, and that would be our most approachable, ready now kind of wine.
And
But very nice. Yeah,
your Scion is pretty limited in production as well, correct?
yeah we do maybe I think 18, 20 barrels, if I'm not mistaken.
That's just-
Depends on the year.
yeah.
No, you
course,
distribute nationally.
We don't.
You don't at all?
Not at all. No. So
Wow.
we're
You all direct to consumer, you said,
Basi-
right?
yeah, like-
95%.
yeah 90
Okay.
maybe 99. We have
Oh,
a
90,
little
okay, yeah.
personal distribution to a handful of restaurants
Yeah,
in
friends, yeah.
really Hillsburg, Sonoma County, but other than that, you can't go to a wine shop in San Francisco or wherever, LA. You're not going to find it. You really got to come out to the tasting room. So
Or
we're
you need to go to Robert Young.
or the website
Winery.
ryuw.com.
Oh, the
RYUW.
website to order online.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. That is outstanding.
Everything is
Thank you.
So
outstanding.
good for Alexander Valley because that is the heart of cab for Sonoma County, right?
Yeah.
That's the most beautiful place.
Well, as soon as my Chardonnay is dry and through malolactic, I definitely want
So
to.
you've already harvested the Chard?
I harvested the Robert Young clone
Yeah.
and some clone 76. So I have both. I have little lots of both clones at the winery. I'm just so excited. It's my
Awesome.
favorite. I mean, honestly, of everything I've harvested this year, I'm extremely excited about it.
Yeah.
Oh, and so it's going through ML right now or not yet?
Oh no, it's still going
No,
through
it's
primary
still good.
fermentation.
And that smells so good.
I know.
You get.
I'd be
you get
excited to
this-
taste that.
I
in
know, and
years
I,
to come.
and, you know, I'm
See
just
how
like,
it tastes. Yeah.
you get weird when you're a winemaker. I chose like the barrels I wanted for it, just because I know your style of Chardonnay so well, and so I earmark barrels and, let my right-hand guy, Enrique, know, we're only going to use, these are saved for the Robert Young clone.
Yeah.
And then we'll see with the Clone 76. I just thought it would be interesting to compare a warm weather Clone 76 with a cooler Russian River climate. So, yeah, it'll be. But yes, if you'd like to participate in a tasting, I would love to do that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
I would love to.
Am I invited?
yes, you're invited. You're always invited.
Doesn't matter what day of the week or time of the day, doesn't matter. I'm ready for it. Wow.
Is there anything else you want to tell us about the tasting room or the winery or things that are going on right now?
I mean, what I would say for folks, if they haven't been out to our spot, I'd definitely encourage them to come and set up an appointment and come taste with us. I'm basically there every single day. So you can find me if you want me to host you. Ask for me. I can certainly go out of my way to do that.
That is so nice.
That
so
is
people
very
could
cool.
people could ask you to be there.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for members to, like, when they book a reservation, they'll say, please have Robbie host if can be.
Wow,
So I enjoy doing that. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So what has changed with COVID? What has changed in your environment?
I say the main thing would just be, we moved to appointment. We were appointment recommended before. So just really, all of our tastings we're doing at specific time slots right now. So just because we want time to sanitize and clean, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's really the main reason, the main thing.
Well, but you're doing things correctly out there.
Yeah, we're all outside, of course. Unfortunately, we have a big outdoor patio, so hosting guests hasn't been a problem. If we were in our old tasting room, which was the size of a closet, we would be in trouble.
Yeah, I do remember it was pretty small.
It was, really small down there.
Still
so-
very cool, by the way, but yeah.
So, yeah,
because the
we've been-
wines were tremendous, so yeah.
Yeah, we've been very lucky.
Well, and people should know, tourists should know that they don't wear their mask while they're tasting, obviously, and it's just a outdoor, easy environment. And I noticed that you were really generous with our time when we were there. We weren't being rushed, and we really got to
Thank
taste
you.
through things. It was very thorough. So you're obviously scheduling time for people to have the whole experience of Robert Young.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. We want to give them that experience.
So what's going to
Yep.
happen in the winter when it's going to get cold and sometimes rainy? We're hoping anyway it's going to be rainy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we're hoping we get back to normal.
Yeah, but you have
So
you're covered.
a little bit, but not enough for a rain, I'd say. But we'll if that happens, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have to tell you that these wines are absolutely delicious.
Thank you.
And I appreciate the opportunity to be doing business with your family this year.
Thank you.
I'm, again, very, very excited about the whole thing.
Thank you.
And
Thank
if
you for supporting
anybody
us.
is not yet a member of your wine club or hasn't visited the winery, we encourage you to do it, but you better hurry up because it's packed. It's in
You
big
are.
demand.
You are in huge demand.
We're really busy right now.
And
Yeah,
when you
I-
look, I mean, this
Which is
time of
good.
year, of course, the whole valley is just gorgeous.
Yeah, this
Probably
is the
best
prettiest time of year to
best
come
place on
out.
earth, not to be. So
Yeah, here in the next couple weeks when the leaves start to change, that's the best time to come out.
I think the best time to come out is during harvest because you can just
right.
Smell it and see
smell
it.
it and feel it.
Yeah.
And all those things.
Which reminds me, are you done with the harvest, or are you pretty much halfway? or
I'm
do you
not
know?
too sure.
Yeah.
I know we've picked a lot of our Chardonnay. I think there's still a handful left on the vines.
And then the cab will come later on.
Cab,
Usually
we
comes
haven't
at-
touched the Cab Merlot a little bit,
Yeah, it's
but
going to be October sometime, right?
maybe halfway or
Oh, you
so.
haven't picked any Cabernet yet?
No.
That's interesting because I was out today and there's a lot of Cabernet that's been picked in
Yeah.
Alexander
Oh, yeah?
Valley.
Yeah.
So but you have the bigger style, so you're not going to. You're
Yeah,
gonna
I think we're-
wait and
Yeah, a little bit more hang
Yes,
time.
but I didn't ask what the percentage of alcohol you have on the bottles. Is it like 13.5
So this is
or something?
no, this
like
is
that?
14.6.
14.6. Okay,
And I
well,
think
that
this
makes
is
sense.
14.5.
Yeah,
so-
so that's
Most of the reds are all right around there.
that's what it is. You know, by the way, I mean, Bordeaux, which used to be at 12.5, 13, is now 14.2, 14 something, and that's in 20 years.
Yeah.
With climate change, it's getting warmer. They're making bigger wines. You know, they're trying to imitate our style. Isn't that fun? Yeah,
Well,
Bordeaux
but-
say, "Oh, we want to make wine like Sonoma." And,
But one of the reasons these wines are not, there aren't any vegetal characteristics at all
Yeah,
in
exactly,
either of these
yeah.
Cabernets, because they're getting the longer hang time and the higher bricks, higher
Yeah.
alcohol.
yeah, and
So,
probably all destemmed and all that stuff. Did you pick the berries? You do a berry sorting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Probably you do.
So everything for us is all picked by hand, sorted by hand. It's even
And then sorted, yeah.
pressed by hand too.
what do you mean pressed by hand?
So rather than using like a
Like a blender
one of those
press?
vats, I forget what they call them
Basket
specifically.
press,
Basket press, yeah. We will actually put them in these big plastic bins, and then it's all pressed by hand with usually like a percolated plate. Excuse me.
Wow, I've never seen that. I got to see that.
Yeah, so that way you can just be a little bit more
Oh, you're more gentle.
delicate with the fruit.
Yes, yeah.
That's
Don't
a lot of,
break
That's
the,
a lot of
You
work.
don't want to break the
That's a
seeds,
lot of work.
or really breaking the seeds. You can
What?
part
Yeah.
a lot of the tannin into the wine.
I've seen that with Pinot, I've never seen that with Cabernet. Really? So you're saying you don't do pump overs, correct? Are you saying you do,
Well, it's
We-
the press,
it's
right?
just the
that you-
pressing,
It's just
the
the press.
initial press,
So
I'd
after
say.
that,
wow.
interesting. Wow, that's
So
that
you're-
would be a
so you
subject
are
of a
ex-
next
So you're
session.
extremely handcrafted.
Yes, yes.
Do you have a night shift going on right now? You
For-
must have a night shift through harvest.
Yeah, so there's everything we sell, that's all machine.
Uh-huh.
So they will pick that at night. Versus the hand pick for us, that's usually done like at dawn. So when there's
wow.
daylight.
Yeah, might as well serve yourself for the best.
Yeah.
And pick, okay.
Well, mine was handpicked.
And then you, oh,
My Chardonnay was.
excellent. Good.
Well, these are absolutely lovely wines.
Thank you. Thanks
and
for having
are
me.
Are you increasing production or decreasing production?
Increasing.
You're increasing?
Yes. Yes,
Be-
definitely.
because demand is
I'd say
so
definitely
high?
demand. Yeah, so our membership is growing a lot, and our members take, I'd say, upwards of 80% of our wine that's produced, and the rest we sell in the tasting room. So our membership's been growing quite a bit, so definitely have to increase production because of that.
Because your membership is growing so much?
Yeah,
That's really
yeah. I think just the
wonderful.
new tasting room we have a lot to offer now. So it's been really kicking off.
And do you have special events for the club members?
Yeah, we do a handful of events a year. We'll do two big ones. One's called Ranch Day, which is usually end of May, and that's fully catered with the family. We usually have some fun things going on there.
And the family all attend.
The family's all there, so my
people
uncle's
get
there to
meet
talk.
the-
Actually talk about the
family
vineyard.
members?
My aunt's
Yeah.
there, Susan, Joanne, to talk about the history. Joanne, my aunt, usually prepares some dish for the guests as well, which is really cool.
She prepares it herself?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Wow.
And then we do one for the Bob's Burn Pile, which we're enjoying now, and that's actually a sit-down catered dinner.
You do a Bob's Burn Pile dinner?
Yeah, so it's actually within that vineyard, which is
All right.
I mean,
right in the
unusual to
middle of
do.
it or
Yeah, so
something?
you're
Yeah,
having the
cool.
wine within that vineyard, catered with the
Wow.
family, so the family actually gets to dine. The older generations, of course.
Yeah.
Us younger generations, now that we're taking over, we get to put in the work, and they get to relax a little bit.
I bet
is
with
nice.
you, with the next generation coming in the tasting room, I bet it's attracting younger people to the tasting room.
Definitely,
As
yeah.
well.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that.
Seeing that it's a
I've seen the change. Yeah, we can accommodate or appeal to everybody now, which is awesome.
that is awesome. So will you be doing social distancing events with the tasting room now that
In next year,
we have? Yeah, are you going to organize COVID compliant events physically at the winery?
yeah, I'd say in the future this year, we don't have anything lined up for us
I was trying to understand your
No,
question. That's
well,
right.
people are starting to do events that
I've heard that, yeah. Yeah,
that
And
follow
what-
the rules,
and-
have a small number of people, and
Oh, and
Yeah.
then, distance, 6
Yes.
feet, whatever, mask or not.
well, it's just that you have such a big facility.
Yeah,
Like
I don't think we have anything lined up currently. I wouldn't say we're not open to it, but I think right now we're just waiting until next year.
The people should join the wine club, and
Join
Yeah.
the wine
Involved
club in
in-
May, you
Yeah.
get the first big time party.
Exactly.
In the middle
Yeah.
of
Yep.
Alexander Valley, you and, what's the name, the quarterback that lives there, or Knights Valley, thereabouts?
are you talking
Joe
about
Montana.
Joe Montana?
Montana, I mean, he's originally from here, right? Yeah, so you probably can see his house from yours.
Probably so.
Probably,
Wouldn't doubt it, yeah.
right.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me on.
I think it's really exciting to have the 5 generations
Yes,
of
that is very
people
cool.
involved. And I also love the concept of true farmers working hard and learning the business and
Thank you.
doing.
Yeah, and the new generation, yeah, you're so damn young, so to speak. So to speak.
Forever young, yeah.
Forever young.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, you need
I'm
to
honored
make a brand
to,
called
I'm
Forever
feeling
to be
Young.
on the podcast, my first podcast, I'll say. Definitely enjoyed it a lot, so thank you so much.
Well, you did a wonderful job. We really appreciate it. So here's to you, Robbie, and
Cheers.
all of your success.
Well, I
And
don't have much left, but that's okay. I'll catch up.
Cheers.
And we will be back next week in the Courtyard. In the meantime, enjoy wine, enjoy life.